While it's gotten a new villain or two or what have you, and may have a little campiness and what have you, here's a re-review of Superman 3. But is it really that bad after 40 years? Or can I give this one some good old-fashioned Big D justice? Well, not really. Here's my re-review of Superman 3 right now. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a re-review of the 1983 superhero flick Superman 3, released by Warner Bros. In the US and Columbia EMI Warner Distributors in the UK. Once again directed by Richard Lester, who got credit for the previous film. And having Christopher Reeve back as the title character and alter ego Clark Kent. Screenplay was done by David Newman and Leslie Newman. This is the third installment of the Superman series. Jackie Cooper and Marc McClure return, plus Annette O'Toole, Annie Ross, Pamela Stephenson, Robert Vaughn, and Richard Pryor. Plus Margot Kidder's back, but unfortunately for not much. But let me save that for later, okay? Though the film recouped its budget, it proved less successful in the first two films, both financially and critically, and received harsh criticism and what have you. So, let's get into this story. First, if you haven't seen my re-reviews of the first two films, I've created a new Superman redo playlist. Check out my reviews of the first two films. That Superman 2 re-review could use a little more views. I'm afraid it's on par with my original review. But let's not get into that. I don't want to be rude and be forceful to all you nice people that's been checking out my vids. And I did find out what my sitch was. It's fake views that I've been encountering since I've been checking the analysis for the videos, okay? So, okay, that about covers it. Let's get to it. The Metropolis-based conglomerate Websco hires Gus Gorman, a talented computer programmer. He embezzles from his employer through salami slicing. Gus does, which brings him to the attention of CEO Ross Webster. He's intrigued by Gus's potential to help him financially. Webster, along with his sister Vera and girlfriend Lorelai, blackmail Gus into helping him. At the Daily Planet, Clark Kent convinces Perry White to let him and Jimmy Olsen visit Smallville for Clark's high school reunion, while fellow reporter and Clark's little unrequited romantic interest Lois Lane leaves for a Bermuda vacation. En route as Superman, Kent extinguishes a fire in a chemical plant containing unstable beltric acid, which produces corrosive vapor when superheated. At the reunion, Clark reunites with his childhood friend Lana Lang, a divorcee with a young son named Ricky. Clark is harassed by Brad Wilson, his former bully and Lana's ex-boyfriend. Later, while having a picnic with Lana, Superman saves an unconscious Ricky from being killed by a combine harvester. Infuriated by Columbia's refusal to do business with him, Webster orders Gus to command Vulcan, an American weather satellite, to create a tornado to destroy Columbia's coffee crop, allowing Webster to corner the market. Gus travels to Smallville to use a Websco subsidiary to reprogram the satellite. Although Vulcan creates a devastating storm, Superman neutralizes it. Seeing Superman as a threat to his plans, Webster orders Gus to fabricate kryptonite. So he uses Vulcan to locate and analyze Krypton's debris. As one of the elements of kryptonite is unknown, he substitutes tar. Lana convinces Superman to appear at Ricky's birthday party, but Smallville turns it into a town celebration. Gus and Vera, disguised as army officers, give Superman the flawed kryptonite as an award. Although it has no immediate effect, Superman becomes selfish and then commits petty acts of vandalism, such as straightening the Leaning Tower of Pisa and blowing out the Olympic flame. Gus asks Webster to build the world's most sophisticated supercomputer. The CEO agrees if Gus creates an energy crisis by directing all oil tankers to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. When the captain of one tanker insists on maintaining his original course, Lorelei seduces Superman, persuading him to waylay the tanker and breach its double hull, causing an oil spill. The villains decamp to the supercomputer's location in Glen Canyon. Yeah. Now, let me see. Yeah, Superman suffers a nervous breakdown and splits into two beings, the immoral, corrupted Dark Superman and the moral, mild-mannered Clark Kent. The two fight in a junkyard, with Clark eventually defeating his evil self. Regaining his sanity, Superman repairs the damage he caused in the oil spill and heads west to deal with the villains. After defending himself from exploding rockets and an ASALM missile, ASALM, Superman confronts Webster, Vera, and Lorelei. The supercomputer identifies Superman's weakness and unleashes a beam of pure kryptonite. Now I'll go to the last bit for this ending. You know the procedure like always. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. As I count down, if you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. But who am I kidding with y'all seeing this movie already? Anyway, oh yeah. Guilt-ridden and horrified by the notion of going down in history as the man who killed Superman, Gus destroys the kryptonite ray with a firefighter's axe. Superman escapes, but the computer becomes self-aware, defending itself against Gus's attempts to disable it. The computer transforms Vera into a cyborg that attacks her brother and Lorelei with beams of energy that immobilize them. Superman returns with Beltric acid, which the supercomputer believes is not dangerous. The intense heat emitted by the supercomputer causes the acid to become volatile, destroying it. Superman leaves Webster and his cronies for the authorities. But thanks Gus for saving his life. The pair fly off to a coal mine where Superman transforms coal into a diamond for Lana. Gus declines to return to Metropolis, deciding to make a fresh start in West Virginia. As Clark's Superman visits Lana after she moves to Metropolis, a drunken brat attacks Clark, believing he was proposing to her, but Clark defeats him without revealing his secret identity. Lana's new job as Perry White's secretary surprises Lois, who returns from her vacation with an article about corruption in Bermuda, and has a newfound respect for Clark after reading his story. Before lunch with Lana, Superman restores the Leaning Tower pizza and then flies off to the sunrise for further adventures. End of story. So what did I think of Superman 3? Well, I'm going to say I'm mixed on this. This film's okay and what have you, but it does have its flaws, though. Now then, with the previous sequel, they have Ken Thorne back on board as the composer. That's one thing I did appreciate. Using the Superman theme and most other themes from the first film composed by John Williams. Giorgio Moroder was hired to create songs for the film, though their use in the film is minimal. Now, when the film was released in the U.S. on June 17th, 1983, and then a month later on July 19th in the U.K. Now, like the previous films, there was a separate extended edition produced, and aired on ABC, of course. However, unlike the original film, the opening credits were actually in outer space, just like the other two films were, featuring an edited version of the film's end credit theme music, serving as an opening theme. And it's followed by a number of scenes, including additional dialogue, but not added to any of the official physical media releases. However, the deluxe edition of the film released in 2006 on par with the DVD release of Superman Returns, included these scenes in its extra feature section as the lead scenes. Now then, when it was released, it didn't do so well as much as the previous film made, which reminds me, I had forgotten to bring that up. The second Superman film made 190 million worldwide. This one kind of made just about half as much. Well, okay, maybe not. Well, let me rephrase that. Just half of what that one got. It made only 80 million worldwide. It did well. It did okay in the US with 60 million and 20 million internationally, and became the 12th highest grossing film of '83. At least it did okay against its $39 million budget. Currently, the film sits at 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, of course, where they say when not overusing side gags, slapstick, and Richard Pryor, the film resorts to plot points rehashed from the previous two films. Leonard Maltin said that this was an appalling sequel that trashed everything that Superman was about for the sake of cheap laughs and a co-starring role for Pryor. The film was nominated for 2 Razzies and for Worst Actor, Supporting Actor for Pryor, and Worst Musical Score for Giorgio Moroder. And audiences also saw the villainous Ross Webster as an inferior fill-in for Lex Luthor. Yes, it is a shame they did bring Gene Hackman back as Lex Luthor. I know they should have tried for another villain from the comic if they had what it took to create it, There were many other Superman villains, like Brainiac, Metallo. Heck, I'd even go for Bizarro, even. Let's see. Now, one review in Ares magazine said, compared to the first film in this series, everything about Superman 3 is a joke. A harsh, cruel joke played on all people who wanted to see more of the Superman they saw a few years ago. Imagine magazine stated that what ultimately spoils the fun in the film is not the incoherent story or even the technophobia. It is simply overloaded. Too many ideas, too many gadgets, too many stars. Considered Pamela Stephenson is completely wasted in a part which would have been too dumb even for Goldie Hawn. The wiring all comes loose at the end, an anticlimax, and a rushed one at that. And fans of the series place a great deal of the blame on Richard Lester. He made a number of popular comedies, including the Beatles' A Hard Day's Night. And he even worked, and this wasn't the first time he worked with Alexander Salkind and son Ilya, because he worked with them on their successful Three Musketeers series. The screenplay was also criticized as well. However, for the special effects for the film and Christopher Reeve's performance as Superman was praised, however, even as the corrupted version of the Man of Steel. I mean, one of the film's positive reviews was from the fiction writer Donald Barthelme. If I mispronounced that last name, I apologize. He praised Reeve as perfect, as also describing Vaughn as essentially playing William Buckley. All those delicious ponderings popping off the eyes, licking of the corner of the mouth. Anyway, yeah, well, I do appreciate the little battle in the junkyard and what have you. But even when, a good one going up against a bad one, to be honest, I would rather watch Spider-Man 3 over this one. I will come back to this one at times and what have you. Now, for our cast, Christopher Reeve, still good as Clark Kent and Superman. Now, as for Richard Pryor as Gus Gorman, he's okay. This would be one of his few non-R-rated films. Of course, a year before this, he appeared in The Toy, which I have seen that one, but I haven't reviewed that yet. Jackie Cooper's back as Perry White. He's still fine. Marc McClure is Jimmy Olsen again. He's pretty good. Lana Lang is played by Annette O'Toole, who would later go on to play Martha Kent on Smallville years later. Robert Vaughn, whom we lost in 2016, played Ross Webster. Well, he's an okay villain. Maybe still not quite as good as Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, though. He tries his best. Annie Ross plays Vera Webster. She's fine. Pamela Stephenson played Lorelai. Yeah, she's fine, what have you. A little nutsoid at times. We have Gamil Hurley as Brad. Boy, I gotta tell you, that guy's... I don't know. Now... And Margot Kidder returns as Lois Lane. But now this is another, which, by the way, this is another negative I have with this film. I don't know why in the Con Blooming world they would just credit her at dead last and what have you, in the All Man what have you. She's only in for just maybe like a mere, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes in the beginning, just maybe last 2 or 3 minutes at the end or close to the end or something like that. I'm sorry, I can't keep track of the minutes these people appearing, you know. Oh, yeah. But they would try to redeem themselves again in 1987 with Superman for the Quest for Peace. However, I'm not re-reviewing that one. Not yet, anyway. Not until next year, because I am going to tackle some bad movies and what have you, and do some more makeup reviews, okay? So, you're not getting that one yet. So, with everything said, some of the cast is fine and what have you. Well, Christopher Reeve's still good, though. The score is fine, what have you. The action and some of the special effects were good, but everything else was just, kind of fair to, how should I put it, mega crap. Please stand by. Sorry about that. So, with everything said, would I recommend Superman 3? Well, not exactly. I would only recommend this to, hardcore completionists, if you're a Superman fan, what have you. Or if you really, or maybe if you're a Richard Pryor fan, if you've never seen it, well, that would be alright. But I'd say maybe just avoid this, or maybe give it a one-time watch, only if you are a hardcore completionist. So what did you think of Superman 3? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Now, I know next I was going to give you Every Which Way But Loose, but don't worry, that's still coming up tomorrow. But we're going to have a bonus video coming up tomorrow morning. So I hope y'all understand. So if you enjoyed my re-review of Superman 3, check out my reviews for these other films. In the upper left-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of Wonder Woman 1984 from 2020. The upper right-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of a film that really just had a humiliating run at the box office more recently, and that was The Flash from this past summer. Or if you really want to see something better than this, see my re-review of Spider-Man 3 from 2007. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya!